Good morning. Market just opened up, 6:33 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's middle of the month. And the market, you can see overnight was actually down quite a bit. It's moving back up here. But if you notice, the Russell continues to go down, and the Dow's it's just basically thinking about what to do. It definitely had a gap here, and it's still early in the morning, so can't really say what's going to happen yet. But you can see the NASDAQ is being pretty stubborn, and it just wants to keep going up. And the ES starting to go up a little bit. Russell's pretty much still right there. Yeah, it's actually going down. And I'm sure the Dow is going to follow. Eventually these markets are all going to come down. But some of these markets, like the NASDAQ, is pretty stubborn. So if you can see here, this balance area has actually grown. I mentioned this before. Balance areas will grow. Right there. And now we got this big balance area in here that the NASDAQ's being very stubborn with. You can see the ES also has a balance area. Let's see, get in here. That's formed right in here. Let's say pretty much right there. There's a nice little balance area there. And this has a little tiny balance area here. Same with this one here. You say it's probably, let's see. All right, there we go. So we got a balance area here. And you got one here. I just drew that one in, and this is a new one here. And of course, the one on the on the NASDAQ has expanded. Now, eventually, all these markets are going down. And I'm assuming this month, they're all pretty much going to hit bottom, which I had talked about before. But, sometimes they take a little while to get there, a couple days, maybe a couple weeks. So you can see right now the market's pretty much, the Dow's down about 470 points, and NASDAQ's 116, not very much. And then the ES down 58. So I had mentioned I had bought some positions yesterday up in this area here, actually, some puts. And of course the market came down, and then it closed kind of high, so I was actually back to zero again, but that's okay because like I said, I bought April put options, so that's in for a longer term, so I'm not worried about that. And I believe these markets, even though it's early, are going to continue down. How far, I'm not sure today. One thing I know, when the market closes up high like this, and on the ES I mentioned, ES can travel anywhere from 80 to 120 points in a day. Of course, I've seen it move over that, to over 200 points in a day. That's unusual. But it's not unusual for it to move 80 points in a day. And for it to get from here down to here, that's just not going to happen, at least not today, unless we have this big, huge downturn. So the point is that it's nice. I really like it when the market closes on a downtrend. It closes down at the very bottom, so this way it gives it some leeway to go down even further and make new lows. Now, I don't know what's going to happen today. It doesn't look like it's going to go down. If it does go down further, might not go down too much further, only because it's kind of stretching it. So it could go down into this area, into this nice support zone right here, NASDAQ might come down into here. But if, like I said, if it closes low, it sets up the next day for breaking new lows. So that's what I'm hoping for today. Now this is longer term, not day trading, so this is actually what I'm looking into the future to see the market actually doing that. So right now it's just kind of balancing out in this area here. This is still in its balance area all the way from February. Hasn't really moved. But this is like the Dow. You know, the Dow I had mentioned, once it breaks out of this balance area, which is going on from late October, early November of last year, and I said it, once it breaks out, it's going to go down in a big way, and that's what it's doing, and it will continue to do that. Like I said, as far as the timing goes, I don't think it's, I mean, it could happen today because the Dow's at 400. It could move another 400 points. You know, it could move, it can go all the way down into this area. Let's say close into this area. It's possible that it can do that. I mean, like I said, unless we have this huge downturn today, it can close down into this area, and that's pretty extreme when it gets down to here. But there's not a whole lot of downside, you know, beyond 31,250, I would believe. So we'll see how this market pans out today. But so far, looks like the NASDAQ's going back up a little bit, and so is the ES. But I would think today we would be finishing down at the bottom. It seems like it's starting to stretch out a little bit here. And so we'll see what happens. But in summary, I am holding on to my put options, which they don't expire for another 23 days. And in 23 days, this market is definitely going to be at the bottom. But for today, we'll just wait and see. And like I said, it's I'd like this market to close today at the bottom, so then we can continue to trend down. But as it is now, at the most I can see is the market kind of finishing at the bottom of this range and maybe down in this area. And who knows with the Russell. Russell tends to lead the way, so this could actually finish down into here. And in the Dow, maybe down into this area by the time that happens. Okay, so I think that's it for now. There's not a lot to talk about other than what I just mentioned, and just expanded these balance areas. And now let's see if they start breaking out. The big thing is for this NASDAQ to break out of this, and then it's gonna, everything was just gonna follow. Actually, I take that back. These are the ones that are leading the way, and then it's gonna, the NASDAQ's the one that's gonna eventually break down, and then they're all gonna go down in a very big way. But for now, because the NASDAQ is still up in this area and the S&P kind of halfway up, it's kind of dragging these from coming down in a big way quickly. I mean, they are going to come down eventually. But anyway, we follow the patterns, and that's what's going on right now. So if you bought some put options up in this area, which I did, then I feel like you're in a really good position. And even if you bought them now and longer term, you're still in a good position, because this thing still has further to go, quite a bit further. And I believe by the end of this month, this market should be down at pretty close to that bottom that I was talking about. So that bottom I was talking about is at least by the end of this month, which is beginning of April. I was hoping it'd get down into this area by April, and still a chance to do that. We have 2 weeks, so there's a really good chance we're going to get to that point. But these markets are going to have to start moving pretty good in the next couple weeks, and I believe that's what's going to happen. And then it's going to follow into the same symmetrical patterns that these are doing, and it's going to form this big M right here. So yeah, that's the plan for now. And when I had mentioned bottom for this, which the other markets are all going to follow each other, it would be right about here. And that would be bottom right there at the end of this month. And buying put options up in here, it's pretty good money you can make going down within 2 weeks. Okay, that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.